The Laṅkāvatāra Sūtra, Part 86. Mahāmati once more asked the Buddha, "Could the Bhagavan please explain how dharmas are momentary and subject to destruction? Why are they momentary?" The Buddha told Mahāmati, "Listen closely and think about what I tell you." The Buddha told Mahāmati, "All dharmas are either good, bad, or neutral, created or uncreated, mundane or transcendent, karmic or non-karmic, defiled or undefiled, perceptible or imperceptible." Briefly, Mahāmati, the 5 grasping skandhas are based on the mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness, along with their habit energy. It is the mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness and their habit energy that nourishes the differentiation of good and bad by fools. Mahāmati, cultivating the bliss and absorption of samadhi, and the bliss of whatever is present, this is what is called good and undefiled by the wise. Mahāmati, what is good or bad refers to the 8 forms of consciousness. And what are the 8? They include the Tathagata Garbha, known as the repository consciousness, the will, conceptual consciousness, and the 5 forms of sensory consciousness. These are not taught by followers of other paths. Mahāmati, the 5 forms of sensory consciousness, together with the mind, the will, and conceptual consciousness, give rise to the development and destruction of good and bad characteristics, and a body that continues without being destroyed. But while these arise and cease, people are unaware that they are perceptions of their own minds. And as one form of consciousness ceases, others arise, differentiate, and grasp shapes and forms. And as conceptual consciousness and the 5 forms of sensory consciousness arise in correspondence with one another, they last but a moment. Hence, they are called momentary. Mahāmati, what is momentary is the repository consciousness of the Tathagata Garbha. But while the habit energy of consciousness that arises together with the will is momentary, its undefiled habit energy is not momentary. This is not something of which foolish people are aware, because they are attached to the doctrine of momentariness. Unaware that the momentariness of everything is not momentary, they apply their views of annihilation to the destruction of uncreated dharmas as well. Mahāmati, the 7 forms of consciousness do not transmigrate, nor do they experience pleasure or pain, nor are they the cause of nirvana. Mahāmati, it is the Tathagata Garbha that experiences pleasure and pain, and that arises and ceases in conjunction with causes. Intoxicated with the 4 states of affliction, and that of fundamental ignorance, foolish people remain unaware that their view of momentariness is the mind under the influence of differentiation. Moreover, Mahāmati, just as gold and diamonds and the relics of Buddhas possess a unique nature, which is indestructible, if realization were momentary, Mahāmati, the wise would not be wise. But the wise are indeed wise. Even in the course of kalpas, the amount of gold or diamonds does not diminish. Why then do foolish people not understand the deeper meaning of my words, and think that everything, whether internal or external, is momentary